Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and those beyond the binary. This is The Between. Welcome. My name is Alex Rubitsky, and I will be the keeper for this gothic tale. My hunters, as always, may introduce themselves. Take it away, Wes.
Hi there, my name is Wes Franks. I am the creative director and founder of Carrying Cover Studios, and for this evening I am playing Ross Swantno, the American.
Hello everyone, I'm Meg. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a DM's Guild author. And for tonight, I will be playing the illustrious Carla Holst, the Undeniable.
Hi, my name is Jordan, or Upgraded Moon. I am an actor and musical composer, and for this evening I'm going to be playing the Mad Dr. Cal Murdoch, the Mother.
Hi, my name is Shelby, or Whistle, or Shibby Dooby Doo, and my pronouns are she, her. I can't find my D6s, and I'll be playing Pyra, the Legacy.
Fantastic.
I can't find my dice
Bust
bag.
out the Monopoly set.
You
We're
got
missing some
time.
keys.
Take your time. Well,
I
before
might
we
just
get
move on
started
to
and to buy Shelby as much time as possible, as always, let's give a couple of pre-show thanks and considerations out of the way. As always, special shout out to the folks over at Session Zero, Clothing and Accessories. You know the whole spiel by now, y'all. They got good merchandise. Please buy it. You can use the promo code FAILSAFE for 10% off your order. I think it's nigh about time I get us a new promo code. So let's just use that one up while it has worth. If you haven't used it already, please use it. Get some stickers for that laptop. Get a shirt.
Got like a big old water bottle. That'd be good. Like, get some fucking stickers on it. You know.
I'm gonna need to sticker bomb this more.
Jordan,
Yeah,
you know that, and I say this with full earnesty, you would have a promising career in Foley work.
Yeah, by just making random
You
shit.
make a lot of random sounds just with things in your surroundings. So I'm just, yeah, yeah,
That's nice.
yeah.
I like that.
That's
I like
good.
that.
It's good.
All right, we're
All right.
using a digital roller today. It's fine.
Yeah.
I can't find my chain
Totally fine.
mails.
Totally fine.
It's okay.
But yes, also, I just want to give another special start of show, not really a shout out, just a massive congratulations to Jason Cordova and the Gauntlet community for coming to an end of their Brindlewood Bay Kickstarter. I think they were, what,
Yeah.
45,000% funded? Is that what it is?
Good lord.
Something like that.
Good
All I know is that they met every single stretch goal.
Every single stretch goal within hours of concluding.
That's fucking
So
awesome.
they just,
That's awesome.
I believe,
Holy shit.
I believe
What
as
did they
of,
say they ended at?
I-
Oh god, yeah, they've made like over $400,000.
yeah, they're sitting
Jesus.
for, I believe
Ooh.
they have 2 hours left to go. So I mean, might as well just keep throwing donations their way. If you've already given some support there, hey, here's a great idea. Just add an extra $2 to your support tier. Just edit your support, add extra $2. It'll carry it over. But yeah, they're at, their goal was 10,000. They're at $467,642 at the time of this recording. So
they're
they're
fine. I
fine.
think they did.
They're
Awesome.
good. They're
That's
good.
so
I think they deserve more.
I think you're right.
Always deserve more.
Just because of all the work that Jason puts into this,
Indeed.
like this amazing game.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
at
I
least go
hope,
check the Kickstarter out. It's pretty fantastic.
I have a testimonial on there.
He does.
Mhm.
Woo, yeah.
Yeah, so that's
All right.
super cool. Yeah, and I have a little feeling that we're gonna one day, that's the hope, that we're gonna one day see the Between physical release crowdfunded, because
Oh, yes.
I want that to happen. So I want that book in my hands.
I want the book.
Mhm.
I need it on my
the
shelf.
book.
Yeah.
I need the book in my hands.
Yes. So anyway, without further ado, I think we're going to jump right into this week's chapter of The Between. So don't leave us. We will be back in just a moment. All right. So, where we previously left off, a lot of things happened, and Shelby was not with us, so she's gonna learn a fair deal of went down, both in and out of character. But
Sorry about that, guys.
no, it was your power got
An
knocked
act
out.
of God destroyed my power, so.
Yes, that was. I may have gone a little overboard on the keeper reactions, so I apologize. But no. So last week, while investigating, or rather, I should say, preparing for the upcoming night phase, with Ross investigating the Watley camera, following the Society Obscura's founders to a townhouse elsewhere, meeting with a prospective new member, Carla consulted, or rather communed, with her masterwork statue amidst her cult for ephemeral answers to questions and mysteries. While Dr. Murdoch planned to stay at home and take some much-needed R&R to heal up his wounds, or so he had hoped. Instead, he was disturbed in the night by an intruder in Hargrave House who blackbagged him and knocked him unconscious, stealing him away as he woke up to the grounds of Brathwaite Manor. In the middle of the night, into a hunting party. Quite literally, he and a few other kidnapped captives were being set free and being hunted by Tati Brathwaite and her companions. Man is, after all, the most dangerous game. Dr. Murdoch managed to survive by playing dirty, tripping other fellow victims so that he could outrun them, climbing into dark trees, sneaking up on other hunters. Indeed, one of them was revealed to be Jason Trent, the mortuary worker from episode 1, who he strangled to death and then snapped his neck. And then harvested his body for pots, not before he encountered Toddy Brathwaite in the woods, cruelly murdering one of the hunting victims. Dr. Murdoch got a shot off at her and was just about to take a killing shot when a sword parried his gun up into the air as Theodora stepped out of the woods, holding her old pirate sword, and spoke with Cal at length, apologizing for the brashness of her daughter's proclivities, and insisted she had no such awareness that that you were on the game list essentially tonight. Apologized. You spoke with her at length a little bit, and she saw you safely return to London, but not before speaking a little bit of her motivation, or as you put it, what's her game? To which she calmly responded that there is no game. It's all business. It's only ever been about business, except for the Queen. That is something far more personal. And that is, we had everyone resolve their night phases, and returned. We had a nice little couple of vulnerable move scenes at the start, and I believe we ended with that, and also Carla did another Reavers investigation. So that's where we left off. I think before we actually get into it tonight, let's take a moment for both Shelby and all of our sake. I think we should recap the clues as we have them so far, the current state of things, just to go over things. So we have a few active threats. We have Figg's Pigs, which is almost completed, the Watley camera, the Reaver's last victim, and as newly introduced, Sally No Face. Figg's Pigs, you've answered all the questions. You just need to capture or kill
We're gonna kill her.
Hortencia Figg. Yep. The Watley camera, so far you only have 5 clues, and the one question still stands of what circumstances will cause someone to be photographed by the camera disappear. Let's see what clues we have so far. A vision of hieroglyphs on a wall with the Watley camera on it, a book on the phases of the moon, a very old book on the phases of the moon, a highly detailed anatomy chart handed to I believe it was Carla, handed Carla by Cyrus Abernathy at the Society Obscura. Droplets of mercury were found in the bottom of a glass in the American West room, and it seems the Abernathys were interested in an orrery depicting the 7 heavenly realms at a person's house they were visiting. So some vague clues. The Reaver's last victim as a side threat is you need to figure out where the remains of Anton Farrow are hidden. Remember, you can only get clues for that one by once a day narrating a scene where you do a whole investigation. So far, you only have a postcard with a notable landmark on it and a cipher carved into the wood of a bedpost as some clues. And then for Sally No Face, for Shelby's context, and just as a little recap, there are a string of murders in the city, serial killings, where each victim has had their face surgically removed. And the local street rumor is that the murders are being done by Sally No Face, kind of like a Bloody Mary figure who is.
I can't like not hear this is Sally Face. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Sally No Face is this legend, this faceless maid who kills naughty people and beautiful naughty people and takes their faces away. But you guys are fairly certain it is a mundane serial killer. So the questions for that one are, so this is an interesting one. I'll remind you guys of how this one works. The Sally No Face, all three of the questions give resolution options. Nothing unlocks here. So for answering where is the killer hiding, it lets you go into find their lair, confront them there, and then capture or destroy them. So that's kind of like an easy question, but with a very dangerous solution. The how is the killer choosing their victim allows you to lure the killer to you. A little bit more difficult, still pretty dangerous. Then the most difficult question to answer is, what is the true identity of the killer and what drove them to this madness, which allows you to empathize with the killer and then bring them in peacefully, convince them to hand themselves in. That has the complexity of 8. You have found no clues for that, I believe, thus far. So that is where I believe we left off. Oh, and I will remind you guys, by the way, the creature of Cremorne Gardens, while you can't resolve it, you can still, if you so choose, try and answer the last question of who is perpetuating the hoax of the creature. Otherwise, once the mastermind threat is unlocked, which you're 3 mastermind clues away from that happening, I will decide. I will come up with my own theory, and it might be something you guys don't like, so we'll see. Any questions? Are we feeling pretty confident with where we are and what we know so far?
Not bad. I think I get it.
Well, how would y'all feel about us attempting to answer the creature of Cremorne Gardens and rolling with like a bit of a difficulty? Because we have 2 clues and we would need 4 to like complete it, but we could roll with
-2.
Yeah, with the
-2. You could.
I'm down with that.
Yeah. Okay. Do we want to start with that and just get that out of the way?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's do it. Let's get a little theorizing action on there. All right, cool. So, all right, Jordan.
I had an idea.
Yeah, and as a reminder, the 2 clues that have not been used in theory so far was an apparition of a drowned woman that appeared in Greco's tent and a piece of scrimshaw that was found depicting a man rising from the river. As a reminder, we decided that the creature itself is a gentleman who is deluded into believing that he is a creature of the sea and has surgically modified his body with alterations to make himself look like a fishman. But we said that there is someone perpetuating the hoax. There's somebody who is behind this, who is wanting to drive. I think, correct me if I'm wrong here, what we decided was that it was someone is intentionally trying to stir up trouble between Cremorne Gardens and the Madame Tussauds establishment. Is trying to pit them both against each other. There's a third party who is. So I think there's something to explore there, maybe beef or whatever. So Jordan, what do you have in mind? Start us off here.
Honestly, I was thinking that it was the dead, those who have been harmed by this person in the first place, like the woman who died, this drowned woman. I think that she was killed by this person, and the only way to bring him out and to get him caught is to draw the fire closer within.
I want to build off of this.
Yes,
I want to
please.
build off of this because the whole apparition of the drowned woman. I'm a paranormal nerd. I love hearing ghost stories. it's very common in ghost stories to leave like a physical clue, like handprints and like fog and like fogged windows and shit. What if this piece of scrimshaw that was depicting the man was one of the victims trying to show what happened to them? Like,
I have an idea that I want to throw into the ring as well. Is
Please.
that regarding the apparition? I think that whoever is behind, and feel free to disregard this, I'm just pitching an idea that popped into my head, is the apparition of the drowned woman is actually a clue to the perpetrator, because it is a person who, whether a spouse or a sister or some kind of loved one, drowned in the riverfront of Cremorne Gardens because of drunk revelers. She fell into the water and she drowned in the Thames.
Definitely.
And
could be a motive. Maybe it's kind of like a Jason and his mom situation.
Exactly.
They blame the establishment.
They
for
blame
not
the establishment.
watching.
So the apparition's appearance is a clue of like, this is the cause of why they are doing this. It is they want to, you know, it would be the drowned person would be this yeah, I don't know. That's just my idea.
They could be the catalyst.
Let me try and marry these.
Please.
Go for it.
So there has been rumors, there are stories in the area of a fish creature of the River Thames. And that's what's depicted on the scrimshaw is that sort of ancient legend that's in this area. The person who originally was behind all of this gentleman who lost someone very close to him, originally started using the myth as like a way to terrorize people. But as he started doing this more, he started hearing the spirits of the dead. He started hearing all the people who have drowned within the river, and it kind of overtook him. And in a way, it was kind of like he became a vessel for the rage of not just the ghost of the one he lost, but the rage of all of those who have been lost in the river.
Ooh, so it's like both. It's both a hoax, but also kind of not. Like this guy's perpetually.
Both a hoax and a message, like almost like a protest, even, where it's like a you guys have created a monster and I will be that monster.
Yeah,
because of the lack of care.
I think that's a good way to put it.
Oh, okay. So like, and so this person has what essentially bankrolled and been like making found the perfect candidate to enact this hoax, this very deluded gentleman, because the person who is, I believe we said that the person who is surgically modified is not the person behind it, is just someone that was found. So we have this person who I guess is like, there's so many interesting questions. Is it like some kind of, is the person who's doing it doing the surgical modifications themselves? Or is it like a doctor who's doing these? Or is it somebody who has just found somebody who's already kind of become obsessed and is just helping emulate it further by kind of pulling strings? What is our thought process here?
I think they might have taken someone who, is kind of like very far into that, like into like the body modification and stuff like that. Might have done modifications themselves and then sent them out there just to be like a problem, but then they took it too far. So like this hoax was just supposed to be, Fishman spotted, and then bad things started to happen. So now maybe this person in question's trying to clean it up, or
how does that connect to the fact that we have this person who is kind of obsessed with vengeance for the death of, or even if it's like us, not like vengeance against the establishment kind of thing, you know what I mean? So like, are you suggesting then that it is like, so it's a hoax run away, or is it more like, it went further than they planned, but now they're fully leaning into it because of their own hatred?
Yeah, I think it started to get a little too far when the creature of Cremorne Gardens started to hurt people.
This isn't.
And then.
Oh, go ahead.
And yeah, I think it might have gone too far when the creature started to hurt people, and maybe instead of cleaning it up, they fully leaned into this. And it's like, if the creature gets caught, this guy's been fucking hurting people, are they gonna believe like what this guy who looks like a fish, or are they gonna believe some rich person who was able to fund it in the first place?
This is not like a mechanical clue, but I think what you're saying just sparked an idea in me, which is, so what do you think of this, y'all? And I want to hear other people's ideas as well. It started off as a hoax from this person who had a loved one drown in the Thames because of just reckless revelers from Cremorne Gardens and all that one evening a while ago. It started off as a, well, you know what, I'm gonna make this, you know what, I'm gonna scare people. I'm gonna just drum up trouble in the area and just cause people just to not want to go there. And then people got hurt, right? So people got hurt, and this person perpetuating the hoax was like, oh, maybe I should pull back on this. And then around this same time is when Madame Tussauds was like, we should do a Horrors of the Sea exhibit. And in this person's eyes are like, oh, no matter even the fucking horror of the situation, people are trying to capitalize and make like some kind of extravagant exhibit out of it. Ooh, people, it became this kind of like corrupt, seedy, like, oh, the sickness is not the establishment, but the people in general. So I'm just gonna collapse both places and leave them to rot.
Kind of like the establishment is the disease and the people are the symptoms of like everything that's happening.
So instead of pulling the hoax, they decided to make it even worse. And they're like, oh, I will hurt and kill people.
It started as the hoax and it like descended into something a lot darker as it went.
And do we want to add Meg's addition of saying that like it's because of when it made that darker turn that this person has begun to like, there's a supernatural element where they're now beginning to like hear, or at least they just think they're hearing the drowned, the many drowned of the Thames.
I mean,
and all
if
that.
it's already an established legend, and odds are there are absolutely people who have drowned in that water. People drown in large bodies of water. So it could very well be that this person, after like coming close with so much death and causing so much death, either his victims are their victims are haunting them, or they're hearing like the wails of people who have drowned, and it's drawing them like to keep going.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
I like that.
Wes, what are your thoughts here?
I'm just kind of filling in like the brick and mortar of this too, because what if this person, who bankrolls things, somebody that has money, nobility, what if it's a person that like had nobility and has like fallen so far into this, has lost land, has lost title, things of that nature, and it's just him and this creature now.
What if they were a former like a former donator to Madame Tussauds? Yeah. What if they were like a former like what the heck is the word? Financial supporter, benefactor, an investor, and they got burned.
Oh. That's interesting.
With the event of their loved one,
dying,
drowning there.
Yeah, like maybe when they try. Yeah, like maybe that was like I've supported you guys. I gave you money and you didn't even protect my loved one.
I have a great idea that I want to use and spin that from now. Hear me out, because this might connect into how this, because in my opinion, this person is more of the servant of Theodora than the creature. The creature is like is with the package, but like I like the idea that in that the scene we saw with Theodora speaking with the shadowy Piscine form, if you actually pull out from that scene, that person is kind of like the pet. I use that word lightly. It's more just like
very much like on a leash
kind of like in like a straitjacket, like on some kind of like chain of thing, by this like the Lord Shaughnessy kind of character who is just like who is just who was the one who was actually hearing her out, but we the camera, we only saw the Piscine form. Now here's something how it could connect to Theodora, is with this person with wealth and influence, is somebody who has like staunch, rigid morality, someone who believed past tense Queen Victoria's system of morals of the Victorian age, where it'd be like, you must behave a certain way, and is like, oh, this like whose vendetta against Cremorne Gardens was kind of born from this like sense of like, well, look what happens when you act improperly, when you don't follow the rules, when you these revelers, these people who are just dancing and drinking every night.
Do we want to maybe entertain the idea that maybe they were from a church of some kind, and this is against some sort of like deep religious morality that they already kind of resented this?
Is it the fucking Archbishop of London or something? I don't know. Like
maybe.
That's a wild idea. But
we'd be able to pin a name on them now.
Yeah. Well, so the thing I'm getting towards is that it was born from this sense of like, oh, this is this establishment, this corrupt business is kind of immoral, or it's sinful, or something of that ilk. But it was through kind of watching the media fanfare of being like, ooh, the creature, the fishman, that was how Theodora got her claws in here, and being like, look, the Queen's system of morals don't work. It is a falsehood. People don't act like that. So, like, you see what happens in her society. Let me tell you what will happen in mine. Like, I'm gonna... that's how she kind of leaned into the morality of it, being like, if this is a media circus of people partying and making light of things, then clearly the system is broken. Yes, Wes, you got some words.
That kind of ties into the time period and people who have influence, but also don't like how the standard of living and the morality and things are of the Victorian era. Definitely don't like the Queen. Freemasons?
Ooh.
That'd work.
Ooh.
Also financial backing.
That's
shit.
Ooh.
You're
So-
spitting
I think-
some game right now, Wes.
So a
I think
lord
You're
who is a
spitting some game,
Freemason.
and I like it.
I think we're at the point where we should probably roll.
I think we're.
Yeah.
I think. Who wants to take the role?
I'll take
Do
it.
Take it.
Jordan.
You got a
Do it.
-2 to this, Jordan.
All
Do
right.
it. I believe in you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, you're fucking kidding. And I'm just rolling just a straight 2d6s, nothing
2d6
else.
-2.
That's a 10.
Is that 10 after the -2?
Uh-huh.
You rolled two
Wow.
6s.
I rolled 2 6s.
Now, do we want to all put on a mask and bump it up to a 12?
Well, you couldn't resolve. Well, that wouldn't matter because there's no way to resolve the threat. So,
Well,
like,
yeah.
that would just potentially mean that, oh, Theodora's present whenever the Fishman's present, which already is. So,
Yes.
That's true.
That's true. Fair enough.
I'd like to
So,
not take Pyra closer to her
because
death
I
yet.
want to know, I have to simply know, what is the name of this individual? Like, who is this member of the gentry or whatever, who is, or of the Freemasons as well? Like, who? I want to give them a name.
How
Lord
about... Oh, go ahead.
Phineas Vernon.
Phineas Vernon. Ooh.
I was thinking Daniel Gilday. Lord Daniel Gilday. Well, how about Lord
Let's do
Phineas
it.
Gilday?
Gilday. Lord Phineas Gilday.
Phineas Gilday.
Nice.
Is that how you spell Gilday?
I
I got
Where
it.
is it?
Gildea.
Yeah, Gildea.
Dea. The Lord Phineas Gilday. I love that.
That's a cool fucking name. Oh shit.
That's a good fucking name. I like that. Okay, that's amazing. We have answered that question. So
I
now,
love this
now
group.
we know. I'm going to. Yeah, this group is.
I love
is
this group
good.
so fucking much.
Y'all, I love
This
each
is
and every
so
one of you. We have fun with this game.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna close off the creature of Cremoran Garden.
Oh shit!
Whoop, go away.
Hey guys, we all answered a question. Yay!
Yeah, look at that. You start.
Experience.
Hide columns. There we go. Nope. Why are you? Oh, I see what's happening. Okay, there we go. Yeah, y'all. I'm very happy with that.
Pinkerton has returned.
No, he has not. Go away. The sheet is giving me technical difficulties.
I hope not, because I think Ross is gonna do a lot more than rip off his fucking lips this time.
I'm pretty sure at that point he just yeets him into the Thames.
We're just gonna.
I'd
dump
say
him
it's
this time.
full. I think it's full game. It's like pure game for Ross to just eat him at that point.
Give me his hands.
Did you deliver my message?
I want his feet.
Good.
Give me his feet.
I will
You can have the rest.
that's
I just
good.
want his feet.
take
Disgusting.
your fucking feet, bro.
Disgusting. I hate this. I hate this. All right,
Save us from
so save us. Oh, Lord Gilday, save us from this bullshit.
No.
Okay,
That's
great.
wonderful.
I think that's a cool thing we've established here. So let's get back to the day phase then.
Yeah.
I think that's great. So, giving a quick overview of all of our hunters here. Ross has no conditions. Cal has spiteful. Carla has Dissociative and Sons of Another World, and Pyra has The Most Beloved. Yes.
If I remember correctly, because Cal and Ross had a vulnerable move at the end of last session, Wes, did you ever write down what clue that Ross found? I believe it was a photo in Trent's pocket.
That's correct. Yeah, it was a photo from Trent's pocket from the Watley camera. That was a photo of a subject, and then you could see Trent a little bit in the distance behind it.
Oh, interesting. If you want to add that to the Watley camera section, that'd be amazing. So that puts you guys at 6 clues for that then. So since we had some other things, I will defer to Shelby first. What is there anything you want Pyra to do during this day phase?
Ooh.
By the way, I'm looking over your sheet by the way to see if we haven't resolved any threats while you were away last time, so I don't think there's any cause for you to.
Unless you guys went into a dusk phase, in which I should have made that like, am I bloodthirsty roll?
Oh well, that's only if you're here.
So
that's only if you're here.
Okay, that's valid. Thank you for not giving me that. I'm sorry. I'm like barely a human.
You're good.
Hey Wes.
Yes.
Could you? I'm so sorry. I was looking at your name tag, but I meant to say Alex. I'm so sorry.
You're good.
Dyslexic brain. It's a fun day.
Absolutely, man. I get you.
I wanted to ask you, because I know you've mentioned the old bones move before, and I was wondering if I could just have a refresher.
Absolutely. Super happy to do that. So the old bones move is that when you have the cosmic passage marked, and you touch, listen to, or otherwise attune to a building's architectural details, you get to roll with sensitivity. On a hit, a ghost will appear and answer a single question you pose to it, or perform a small test, your choice. I can choose to have its answers be in the form of a clue. And if you get a 10 or higher on that roll, same deal, but it won't ask for anything in returon.
I know the Reaver's Last Victim is a side quest.
The only way to get clues for the Reaver's Last Victim is by analyzing, doing this, which, I
might want to go to a scene of one of the Sally No Face murders then, and try to see what I can, try to use the old bones move. I think.
So as a refresher on that, just so you know, that I think that's amazing. As a refresher, the victims of the Sally No Face murders were Edward Clive, Dolly Merriweather, and Clara Yarborough. Yes, this, as we decided, the same Clara that Ross went on a date with.
No.
Got her face removed.
Oh, buddy, no.
So.
Okay, well then.
So Edward, all the bodies were found in Whitechapel.
What's the most recent one? That's the
Clara.
one I'd go
it would
to.
be Clara Yarborough.
Yeah, then I guess I'd probably go to that one.
Oh, you want to go to her flat? Okay, cool. I love that. All right, cool. So you're gonna go there. What other things do people want to do today? Yes, Ross.
Ross Fontenot is going to make his way. I would like to make the pursuit of utilizing my move as cruel as the Harlot's Curse, which I go indulge in my vice alone in the dark. But on the way there, I would love to stop by one of the Reaver victims, like crime scenes.
I believe we already had Meg do that during the daytime at the end of last session. I will refresh myself on the wording here just to be sure. All it says is once per day the hunters may do this.
We are in a new day phase though, correct?
It's the same day phase as what Carla did it last session. Because we ended at the start of a new day phase and she did that. Yeah.
Okay. Correct. Okay.
If we have someone in the chat who corrects me and is just like, actually I think the intention is this, I'll be like, cool.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well then, I'm just gonna go indulge in my vice alone. Then.
I love it.
I think he's trying to separate himself from Sally No Face a little bit because of Clara, so he's going to go hit the reset button and then jump back into it.
Excellent. And Cal and Carla, what would you like to do?
Well, I know you came out just out of one vulnerable move, Doc, but would you mind?
Sure, we can do another one.
Hell yeah, I love that.
Sure.
We'll get to that then. I'm gonna start with Pyra then. So I think it's very fitting that we start with a Pyra.
Get my knife and get in her voice. We're going to do this.
Pyra's on the hunt.
As I always am.
As she always is. So let's see. Okay. I'm just catching up on some reading here. Yeah, okay. So, let's see. So the victims, Edward Clive and Dolly Merriweather, were within the last month. The most recent is Clara Yarborough in her tenement house, in her tenement building. You show up in the Whitechapel neighborhood, which is an impoverished area. If you're not familiar with Jack the Ripper, let me give you a little breakdown on Whitechapel.
We're there. Okay, cool. We're in the fucking depressing part of London, aren't we?
Yep. Whitechapel is a lot of narrow, dirty streets, a lot of crummy buildings, and a sizable prostitute population. A lot of tenements. It is a dismal, impoverished area of the city that in our real world
historically abandoned by Scotland Yard, but
exactly. That is indeed the cause. Let's see.
Yeah, it's not like that fucking investigator was doing anything anyway. He was too busy Googling Carla all the time. Yeah,
for sure. This is out here in East London. Let me ask you this, Pyra. Is your intention is, because I know you want to do the old bones move, you're going to go to the flat? Is there anything else you want to do, or is it just like
I think it's just going, because I kind of want to play this like she's not intentionally summoning a ghost.
For sure.
So yeah, I think that's mostly what she's going to do, because I feel like Pyra would narratively be spending a lot of time preparing to kill a Figg tonight.
Yeah,
and she probably had a fucking hard ass time sneaking out of the house today. So I imagine she's probably getting a later start on the day too.
You pass by a number of working women, one of which is off to the side of an alleyway as you're getting close to the tenement building. Very like nappy velvet gown, too much rouge on her face, and it's like, it's morning, but the way she like sways, and there's you know all too well, there's the stench of cheap liquor coming off of her. She is eyeing you up and down as you pass by. She's just like, "Hello, Captain. You mind? Would you like to dock your ship at my portico?"
Talk to you on my way back.
I look forward to it. And you continue
she
walking.
Walks away, she's just like, no.
Yeah, you continue walking.
Even I have standards. No.
The tenement house that belonging to Clara Yarborough is this 3-story structure. Beggars, prostitutes all over. You step inside, it is a very poorly lit structure. Here's a paint the scene question. This building was originally a charity project, now abandoned for some wealthy do-gooder. What faded remnants of their largesse do you see around you?
Of their what? I'm sorry?
The largesse. Their what's the word I'm looking for?
Benefactors.
Yeah.
Beneficiaries.
Beneficiaries.
We were trying to find this word 5 minutes ago. We're just never gonna get
beneficiaries. They're the stuff they put into it. The money they put into it.
There's some really nice molding around the bottom of the house, like trim. And it's far too nice for where this house is. It was like something that was kind of splurged just to make it look pretty.
There's a chandelier in the front, in the little foyer. It's not a full foyer, but it's a foyer. It's not anything spectacular. It's primarily made of glass instead of crystal, and you can definitely see there are bits and pieces that have just gone missing over the years. But it's still serviceable. It still has light when people care to light it, which is not very often.
there is in the corners and along certain walls and holding up some broken legs of furniture, you see that there is a very nice collection of books, but they are not being used to being read. They are being used to do things like cover holes where rats can't get out, or they are being used to, like I said, keep tables from toppling over, things of that nature. So you might see a very nice encyclopedia that is nailed to the wall where there was a hole once.
There's a guy out front, and his only job is to let people in or let them out. The problem is he's just standing there the entire time the door is wide open, so he doesn't really stop or start anybody. He just kind of says hello. He's got a disease.
Mm-hmm.
Creepy.
Of some kind.
Yeah, no, I don't need the plague.
Mm-hmm.
Leave me alone.
Yeah, you know that Clara Yarborough was found in the hall, kind of outside the door to her flat. I assume you're kind of you. I'm trying to think how to phrase this.
I would try to get into the flat.
You're trying to get into the flat. I love that. Why don't you give me a how do you go about trying to get into the flat? What is the process here? How does Pyra try to?
Does anybody else live in this building? It's abandoned, right?
No, it seems that the effort of the charity project was abandoned, but there are plenty of people who still live here, whether that be beggars squatting or people paying the landlady. I'm
gonna guess no one's gonna really fuck with me if I do this, considering I'm a fucking built as shit, fuck off Slavic woman with scars all over me. I want to kick this bitch in.
Okay, I'm gonna have you give me a day move plus vitality is the immediate one. What are you afraid of happening here? I will say that I feel like the complication.
Someone calling Scotland Yard, because then I've got some
Fair.
explaining to do.
Yeah, I like that. Someone will call the bobbies on you on Constable Yard.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna have to
10 minutes.
I'm gonna have to sit down and explain. Listen, I'm trying to do your fucking job for you because you can't do it, and it's gonna be a pain.
Cool. So give me your you know what I'm gonna add to it, even though because I'm feeling that this is a good way for me to implement this, is even though this is kicking the door down, there is a degree of this from what you're telling me here that's like you're not trying to draw
a ghost.
No, ghost. Just draw bad attention to yourself. You're giving off this energy of like fuck off kind of things, but also you are the most beloved. So I'm kind of just like, you do inherently draw attention.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have that invoke disadvantage on this for once. Unless you can give me an argument for one of the items.
I'm cool with that.
Cool. So
mostly because I'm gonna be rolling this with my highest stat anyway, so I feel like that's fair.
Yeah. So roll 3d6 plus 3 to take the two lowest.
Okay. That just evens out to an 8.
An 8. Okay. So let's see, on a day move, I'll tell you how this will leave you vulnerable, and then you can choose to back down or go through with it.
You break your ankle.
Here's how this will leave you vulnerable. You know that saying, it's like, oh, the killer will always return to the scene of the crime, kind of thing. In doing this, you are sending a clear message that there is somebody doggedly on the trail of this with a great passion, which is going to put you, especially because you're the most beloved, in the sights of the killer's circle,
that's a negative thing? That's what I want, man.
Okay.
That's what Pyra wants.
It seems to be that this is a reoccurring thing of Pyra being a target for serial killers.
Amazing. So then,
It's almost like she does it herself.
Yeah, so you go through with it then. So, okay. So you bring your boot up directly just like below the lock of this door. You hear the splintering of wood. It just swings inward. The wood is old and cheap, and it just cracks in half even your thing. You see what you can only assume to be the landlady come running to see this. She is this stout framed woman, straw colored hair. She's like, it looks like she was in the middle of smoking from a corncob pipe, and she has like this wide-eyed angry look, coming to Stormy to see what this disturbance is. But as soon as she sees you, she gets immediately unnerved and clammed up and steps off to the side, and you enter Clara Yarborough's flat. And
Just
we're
give her a
gonna
nod, like.
all right, let's get away from that. Let's
Hell
go
yeah.
over. Let's do Mr. Fontenot. Let's jump over to you for now. You said that you were going to I apologize. What did you say you were going to do?
Indulge in my vice
Right.
alone in the
Absolutely.
dark and seedy underbelly of London.
As cruel as the
Lord.
harlot's curse indeed. Alrighty then. You know the move here, so go ahead and roll with your vitality. You have no conditions here, so that's good.
Yep. All right. Let's do it. That is a 4 and a 6. That is a 10. Plus 1 is an 11.
Okay. So on an 11, you get to choose 2 from your list. Which 2 would you like to choose?
I would also, just because I would like to get that plus 12, get a memento, because my personal quarters are getting a little light here.
Oh.
I would like to put on the mask of the Cosmic Passage, please, to bump it up.
Ooh. All right.
Oh shit!
Ross becomes a bit dumber. Quite literally, he has a -2 now to his reason, I believe.
Oh damn!
So
I
with
like
this
that we're
Cosmic
all just
Passage,
marking cosmic passages. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
I increase my sensitivity by 1, and I reduce my reason by 2.
Mm-hmm. I love that. So your sensitivity is now a 1, and now you have a -2 to your reason. That's phenomenal. Ross really is just the himbo. This is good. Oh, and by the way, I think I'm gonna be mean to you for a minute, Shelby, and just say that I think just by blatantly kicking in a door, I think you're gonna mark Hunt X. Like,
Again, I want the beast
I
in here.
know.
Are you serious? This
No, I
isn't
know.
being mean.
I'm trying to find more means for you to mark
I have
that.
like 4 masks before I die. The beast needs to get here.
Yeah.
Hunt
Alrighty.
X.
Great. So, yep. All right. So then you bump that to a 12, Ross. So that means you now get a memento as well. You want to resolve that one first?
Yeah, let's go ahead and resolve this move before we go into Cosmic Passage and
Yeah. So go
my
ahead and-
new move that I have.
Yeah. So go ahead and ask another
Okay.
hunter what this memento is.
Meg, give it to me. What do we got, Carla?
As Ross is heading towards his favorite opium den, I think he is going to stumble upon. Yeah, let's make it hurt. A small collection of bookmarks with pressed flowers, one of which was Clara's favorite.
That's good.
All
That's
right.
very good.
Okay, I see what's happening here.
Did you just quote Diary of a Wimpy Kid?
Hi guys.
Hi. we
Sorry.
had a minor internet stutter that came out of
Tech
nowhere.
goblins. Tech
Yeah.
goblins. Every time.
Quite literally, Diary of a Wimpy Kid killed the stream.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
No, you're not.
Sorry.
No,
Yeah.
you're not.
So,
I'm gonna go see Loaded Diaper at Coachella this year. I'm sorry.
oh my god, that was the most cursed thing I've ever heard. So anyway, back to where we were. Back to where we were.
Heck.
Yeah, back to where we were. All right. So you have that item in your personal quarters now. What are the 2 you'd like to pick from the list, Ross?
I would like to gain some resistance on my next quickening roll.
That's a smart move.
Increase the success tier by 1 step. And I would like to stumble on a clue, please.
Amazing. What is the clue, and what is it for?
The clue is going to be for the Watley camera.
Mhm.
I'm being very strategic with this. And what it is a notepad. So as he is given a room and he is stumbling into the room and he's getting ready and he just kind of tosses the Clara press book. So he thinks about tossing it and he sets it down. He notices a notepad with a pencil sticking out like on the top of the rungs of it. and he picks it up and he notices that it's a journalist's notes. And there are multiple like handwritten, ready to send off to print stories, but the most recent one was a full-on op-ed about the Society Obscura. And it was like a in-depth, like, I had found myself within the ranks of the Society Obscura. It was going to be a tell-all, and the last little thing was saying that the reporter believed that they had been found out, that they were getting out of town, but they had to lay low someplace for a while.
And then they went and left the fucking journal.
Yep.
Oh.
So we don't know what happened to them, but we do know that we have this journal.
They're probably dead. Smash cut to a man floating through the fragrant void.
Yep.
Yeah. They're probably fine.
Ties into my theories. Scans.
I'm into it.
Perfect. All right.
Cool. Yeah, put that on the list. Okay. Great. I love that. I'm gonna absolutely as always lean into the fact that you did not choose to avoid unwanted attention. So
look, I'm asking for a lot here, Alex, so I like to give in return.
So before we get to that, thank you very much, sir. Before we get to that, let's jump over. Let's do the vulnerable move between Carla and Cal.
All right.
Right.
I assume whose vice are we indulging here? Open casket funerals or comforting the dying?
So you don't have any physical ailments right now.
I do not.
So regardless of what we do, we're both going to be tacking off a
Just one.
a mental one. Hey, it's up to you. It's up to you. You offered for the vulnerable scene.
I know you were thinking maybe after the end of last episode, flow from talking with Ross to maybe, attending another funeral.
Yeah, if we could do that.
That'd be
You
great.
can do that.
Since it is then Cal, it is Cal's vice. Which option are you looking to pursue with this vulnerable move? The invite Carla to ask you about your backstory or find a clue?
We'll do some backstory.
Yep. So whenever Meg wishes to, Carla may ask one question about your past that you must answer truthfully, though not necessarily completely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So my vice, because we have not indulged it often, open casket funerals. To set out the scene, I like to think that they had approached this very, very gaudy church. Possibly, I would even say on the other side of town than where Pyra had gone to. It's big, it's enormous, it is very long. Like, they definitely like rented out this place to kind of say goodbye to this person. Cal doesn't know who it is. He never knows who it is. And if he does know who it is, he doesn't stay long enough to linger. Yeah, that's how it begins. And they just yeah, we'll take it from there. We'll see.
Okay.
We're going to tweak that just a little bit.
Okay, fuck yeah. Yeah, let's see.
Cal gets there first. And Carla, after coming back from doing some of her own, investigating into the Reaver's last victim, stumbles into this place. She's a little still off balance, a little glassy-eyed almost, and then she looks through the crowd and she sees Cal. Huh? Dr. Merrick.
Miss Holst, what brings you here this morning?
I was doing work in the area and I don't know why I'm here. I don't really... The past couple of hours has been very... It's been a lot.
You're telling me.
You're alive.
And you are as well. Yes.
No,
very,
I'm quite sorry. I had the most unusual dream last night. Because I saw you, and you were running through a forest,
being hunted?
being hunted by Tati Brathwaite.
Odd. You said this was a dream?
Or something close to it.
Well, consider it deja vu, because it happened, and it ended in a rather unfortunate way.
Hmm.
I made it out, and I made it back to town, but in one piece, for the most part.
She kind of looks him over, looks at the funeral again, the second time this has happened. You know, for a man so accustomed with death, I don't think I've ever met one so afraid of dying.
There's always stuff to be done, and I think I'm burdened with a great purpose before I go.
What is it? What drives you, Dr. Murdoch? What really drives you?
I say justice, reuniting with a loved one, if possible, through unconventional means, maybe, but reuniting with someone. That's what drives me.
And how far are you willing to go to see that through? So I've met a lot of young men like you, driven with it, wanting to do anything and everything in the world.
I'm willing to go as far as I need. I'm willing to do what I can, put together whatever, whomever I need to. As far as I'm willing to go, well, that is a boundary that I have not crossed yet. But, we'll see when we get there. Yes?
Yes, we will. At this point, she kind of gets a little closer to Doc, one arm kind of around his waist and then kind of laying her head on his shoulder. You're very warm. That's nice. I like ambition. Just make sure it doesn't get to your head too fast.
The doctor kind of like returns an arm around her shoulder just to kind of bring her in. Miss Holst, I'm afraid it's a bit too far gone for that.
I've met far worse men than you.
And he kind of furrows his brow at that. A little uncomfortable at that idea, but just kind of like tightens his hand on his shoulder a bit and loosens. I'm not entirely sure about that. There's a lot more that I've done than I'd like to admit, but like everything, I suppose the truth will come eventually. Yes?
Eventually. But until then, well, I suppose you have a lot of thinking to do.
Too much. Too much thinking.
Well, if you ever need anything of me, and she gives him just the lightest little kiss on the cheek, I'm always around.
He immediately turns like a fucking tomato.
Amazing.
Yes, I'm going to go to the bathroom now. Thank you very kindly. And he kind of like shuffles away.
Oh, Cal, you precious little summer child, Cal.
His first
How can
kiss
you be
was a
so
ghost. You saw it.
I know. I'm just like you're so fucked up in so many ways, but you're so innocent in so many ways.
Unfortunately.
We're gonna fix that. It's okay.
And he kind of like shuffles almost like a little penguin waddle to the bathroom. Yeah.
I love it. Amazing. All right, I'm gonna jump over back to Pyra. I feel like now, and see what happens here. So you just kicked in the door to
I
Clara
did.
Yarborough's flat. There are stacks of clothes here, what you would assume to be other people's washing. The wallpaper here is peeling, and there's a noticeable smell of mildew that permeates this flat. Here's the paint the scene question. Clara Yarborough didn't have much, but she kept a few small, pretty things. What are they?
There is a very simple, I think this is appropriate for the time period, we're just going to pretend, uranium glass bowl. It's very small, and it probably like held like either coins or bits of like little like things that you would drop on like your keys or something. But it's very intricate. It's clearly something that maybe she received as a gift or a lavish purchase she may have bought for herself on a special occasion. And it glows in the dark.
I love that.
It's also radioactive, but you know, we're in the Victorian era. We don't know that.
Yeah.
There is this glass mug in the shape of like a boot. Very, very much like, it's very American. It has like it's like a cowboy boot and stuff. On it, it's just labeled Das Boot.
There's a silver button that has been sewn at the very top of her evening cloak that she wears outside. It's one of Ross's.
We're just hammering home this fucking tragedy, aren't we? Jesus.
There is a threefold, you know, those profile shots where it's like those frame photos where it's the silhouette from the profile. There's a threefold one of what would be Clara and her two siblings that is sitting on a shelf. I figured since we're just taking this little pot shots at Ross here, I was gonna
Be nice to
cover a little bit of something
sorry.
else. No, it's fine. It's great. It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
I love it. Excellent stuff, everybody. So you stand in Clara's flat, Pyra. What do you want to do? What do you do?
Okay. Like I'm just gonna kick the door shut with my foot. I know it's not gonna shut anymore, but like just like as I walk in,
half of it falls off into the hallway.
That's fine. Do I know where specifically in the flat she was found, or?
No, she was found in the outside hallway. This is just where this is just where she
Gotcha.
lived.
Well, then
Yeah.
I want to find her bedroom then, because I feel like this might
Yeah.
be the best place to.
You want to do
look
the
first.
Old Bones movie, or you want to search for clues first?
I think I kind of want to do a narrative thing where I do the Old Bones by
Yeah.
accident.
Yeah.
Because I
Okay.
don't think I'm consciously doing this. I kind of want Pyra to go into the bedroom, and that's how she's attuning to the architecture.
What does she do in the bedroom?
She walks in, and I imagine it's a very small, cluttered, but comfortable bedroom. So she's walking around, and maybe she catches like a photo catches her eye. Actually, no, I know what I'm gonna say. A photo catches her eye. Because I know somebody in this photo. I knew them from a very long time ago.
Oh, interesting.
They were actually in one of my Janice Mask flashbacks.
Oh, cool. Interesting.
Oh,
If you remember the one where Pyra was walking along the pier,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
he was with a young Irishman,
Uh-huh.
and she sees a man that looks very similar to him in one of these pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like it's like they're friends. Like they were
Okay, cool.
they're out at the
Little
London pier.
happenstance. Yeah.
Yeah, and that catches her eye. And she reaches out and she like touches the wall, and as she does that, that's when the Old Bones triggers.
Yeah, I love that. I just love this kind of
That's fucking
introspective.
cool.
That's
I
very
like
cool.
that.
So you're gonna want to roll with your sensitivity. And you have no disadvantage on this.
I hope not.
That's super cool. So that is 2d6 plus 1.
Ooh,
What'd you get?
I'm using D&D Beyond for this, so
That's fine.
I'm just gonna take a little clippy clip, and we're
Take a
just
little
gonna.
sip.
Show us what you rolled.
take a little clippy clip before I yell it at the stream. I have a +1 to sensitivity.
Very
That's an
nice.
11, boyos,
That's an 11.
which means I'm pretty sure this might up the hunt counter.
Does it?
If it provides me a mastermind clue, never mind.
It won't. No, but it does mean that the ghost of Clara Yarborough will not ask for anything in return, which is extremely useful.
I mean, granted, the way that Pyra and Ross are getting along, I think that's actually narratively very, very appropriate, considering the vulnerable move me and Ross had not too long ago. Two people close to Ross.
You kind of like run your fingers along the peeling wallpaper, looking at this frame, kind of like feeling the weight of this building. You can hear the creaking of the floorboards, the way that the old wallpaper kind of dryly crinkles along the ridges of your fingertips, the way your boots set against and press down on old timbers, and the air of fabric and mildew and an underlying smell of soap, that washy kind of lye smell as well. An attempt to mask it. All these blends come together, and the air grows a little cold, not frigid, just, it is around like late-ish autumn by now, mid to late autumn, and so like but the window is closed, but the room grows a little still, and
Pyra's encountered a ghost before, so this is probably a bit reminiscent.
As you feel the hairs on the back of your neck rise, and almost in unison with your body, the whole building settles against the chill of autumn. It feels like the building is breathing with you, and you turn, and in the corner of the bedroom, you see a ghostly apparition standing with its back to you, and is kind of kneeled down over a wash basin, and is softly crying, while fruitlessly trying to touch and interact with the water. I will ask you, so as per the move, this ghost can either answer a single question you pose to it, or perform a small task. That is your choice. Which are you going to do with Clara Yarborough?
I don't feel like she knew her killer, so I don't think that's a way, because serial killers, they very rarely know their victims. A lot of it's just they all fit a profile. So I think she's going to say, what happened? What happened to you that night?
Clara stops interacting with the wash basin, and she said, like, turns, and you can see that where her face once was is a bloody visage of muscle and bone, leering at you, and she you can even see that her eyes, lidless as they are, have what look like ghostly wet tears streaming down them, and then like falling away bloodily from her face as she grimaces at you. I will answer this in the form of a clue, I think. So I will give you a formal clue from this. What happened to you? She asked.
Can I have Pyra say something?
Please, yeah.
I think as the ghost kind of turns around and she sees the face, and like I don't think she can help but like cringe at like just that brutality, and she just says, I don't want this to happen to another person. I'm going to catch him, and he's not going to do this to anyone else, so that you can move on. You don't need to be here anymore.
All Clara responds with is a name that means nothing to you right now. But you ask her what happened to you, and she just Victoria Callis.
Victoria what?
Victoria Callis
Callus.
is the only name she hisses out before Clara's ghost. The building settles again and she vanishes in the blink of an eye. So Victoria Callis, a name without meaning.
I'll find them. And I think Pyra wants to leave.
I think on that note, let's take a break.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll be back in a few minutes, and before we bring our day face to a close, and then I believe we have a ball
Nick
for some of our
face.
members to attend. Until then, stay tuned. And welcome back, everybody. So let us resolve now what happened to our dear friend, Mr. Fontenot. Now, as I've said before, if you don't mark the thing that says you don't draw unwanted attention, I will most likely have you draw unwanted attention. I'm actually going to ask you a little bit, because I want to actually kind of like outsource this. What is unwanted attention to Ross mean in this moment for what he's doing?
In this moment, Ross is trying to get high as fucking shit off of opium to not just forget about his curse, but also forget about the world for a little bit. We just got news that that our dear Clara is dead. We've also been dealing a lot with our dear Doc having to murder a person for the first time. A lot of stuff going on. It's a lot going on with it haven't really had time to slow down, and so so unwanted attention right now is literally anybody coming in and trying to conversate with Ross Fontenot. If anybody, I mean anybody, it could be somebody that works at this establishment, even if it was like a working girl, which Ross is typically like, okay, yeah, fine, whatever, it's fine. But like, no, like even at this moment, it's like, I swear to God, if anybody walks in that door, it's unwanted.
Yeah, I actually, okay, in that context, and I'm not going to have this be something that is like ooh, something dramatic happens. It is,
Yeah,
you're not really doing anything illegal aside from just vibing. So what I'm gonna say is all of that happens. You just get a lot of interruption in that way. A lot of people who are interacting with you. So I'm gonna give you a condition as a result of this.
okay.
How do you feel from all those interrupted vibes?
We're gonna say irritable.
Love it. So you're irritated.
Irritated.
Amazing. All right, cool.
Irritated.
So that is the result of that. Before we have Cal do something, because I know Cal wants to do something, let's talk to Pyra for a minute.
I think I figured out something.
Yeah,
I'd
is
like
there anything
to
else
do.
you want to do before we end the dusk phase, whether it be here or elsewhere? Or
I do.
yeah,
It kind of is more of a personal story beat, if that's okay.
fine by me.
I want to get my fucking my twin brother's necklace back from my uncle, or try.
Ooh, I love that.
I'm really angry that specifically was taken from me. And he knows I'm going to be pissed that was taken from me.
Okay, I actually love this. So you're gonna go back to Hargrave House and do that. I think that given the circumstances of your uncle being involved, I'm going to make this a night move. So I will ask you. So you're telling me that you're just gonna break into your uncle's office and steal?
Oh no! I'm not that fucking insane.
Oh, okay.
My uncle would murder me. I'm going to my uncle and I'm asking for it, or more like saying, there's no reason you should have taken that.
Okay.
I don't care what evidence that was. That needs to go back in my brother's grave. Is kind of what I'm
I understand now.
Mostly because I don't think I could break into his house now. Into his office now. I'm pretty sure he's still in there.
Very true. Then I still will have this be a night move, but this will be a night move plus your presence, which is a -1, because you are going to be asking. I just saw. This will be. I think this is going to be a night move plus presence because I mean
Ooh.
you're going to be interacting with him. You're going to be speaking to him. And so I will
Pyra,
ask
why,
you.
you have no presence.
So you're going
This
to
should be
go
fun.
up to your uncle and ask him, or in some way converse with him that you want your brother's necklace back. What are you afraid of happening here? Should you fail to persuade him or convince him to return the necklace to you?
I think she's afraid that he might lock his room from her. Lock Demir's room.
Oh, lock
to keep her
Demir's room.
out.
Okay. It's worse than that because he will see your attachment to Demir as such a weakness that he's not only going to lock that room, but he is going to empty it and toss every bit of personal memorabilia away to strip that weakness from you.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Do you still wish to continue with this? Alrighty then, give me a night move plus your presence. -1.
Oh shit, okay. I rolled an 11 again, but I have a -1, so that's a 10.
That's still up. You do what you intend. So, okay. You get to narrate what happens here. So you get to establish, I'll role play, Uncle Pavel.
Yeah.
But you basically, before we do a little bit of roleplay for this, in broad strokes, I want you to tell me the arc of what happened in this conversation, and then we'll live in it for a little bit.
Well, Pyra does not go to Pavel's office often, so when she does, it's normally for something important. And I imagine it's first her discussing, listen, that should not have been on Obert. That needs to go back to Demir's grave. Probably a back and forth of, it's not worth it. And I'm like, well, if it's not worth it, then give it back to me. It's not causing a problem. Why did you take it from me? All you needed was the note. Something like that.
Okay.
That kind of a back and forth.
And just so we know where this will go, tell me how this will resolve, and then we can role play kind of this conversation.
Honestly, I think it's just Pyra being super fucking insistent and maybe annoying him.
Okay.
It's like, this will get you out of my office.
So let's start it off, and I want you to. So you set the scene of you entering his office, and then we'll role play it from there.
Well, Pyra comes home after her encounter with the faceless ghost. And I think after that experience and what happened the day before, she just says, fuck it, and walks up to the top floor of Hargrave House where the office is, and just gives like 3 really solid knocks and waits to be told she may enter.
Yes.
She just opens it.
You see that your uncle is. Actually, no, you tell me what is Pavel doing. You get to narrate this scene, really. So.
I just imagine a mountain of paperwork. That seems like he's not a very active hunter anymore. He very much is kind of a bookkeeper in the house now. He assigns a lot of the work now, unless it is like a might blow up the city kind of threat. I don't think he puts himself in that line of fire.
Pyra, can you not see that I am very busy at this moment?
You can't spare a moment for your niece?
What is it?
I wanted to ask for Demir's necklace back.
And why is that of any concern to you at this moment, Pyra? Don't you have better things to be working on?
His grave was robbed. I would like to return it. It never should have been on Obert. I don't know who the fuck took it out. I'm going to find out.
You will abstain from investigating that matter further, Pyra. I've made myself very clear on that.
Yes, and they broke into my brother's tomb. Are you not concerned? Is anyone looking into this?
It does not need looking into, for I already know who is involved, and that is why I'm asking you to stay out of it. It is irrelevant to your duties.
If you want me to stay out of it, then at least give me the necklace back.
Why?
I do not have much left of my brother.
So this is about sentiment again, Pyra. You want to have a weakness to be... to view this. We've been over this before. Material possessions belonging to the dead are little more than a distraction to the focus we need.
The sword on my hip were my father's. Is that not sentimental?
That is very different, Pyra.
How? How is it different? What is a necklace going to do? I'm going to put it back in his grave. That is all.
Is this really so important to you?
Does my twin brother's grave being broken into, is that important to me? Yes.
You are not the only person who's had graves robbed or even had done grave robbing yourself. Fine. If it gets you out of my hair so I may return to my work, yes, I'll give you the Mir's necklace back, but I tell you again, Pyra, I mean it when I say that I want you to hear me 3 times. You will not bother Mr. Higgins or his employer about how Obert attained that necklace. You might inadvertently ruin some very important business discussions. I'm not asking you to be okay with it. I am just simply saying for you to stay out of it. This is my business. Do you know how close we are, Pyra? Do you know how close we are to killing it once and for all? I have finally made connections that will help. And so I ask to stay out of it.
Well, then maybe you should ask Mr. Higgins to not threaten me in my own house. I'm not trying to get in their way. It's not my fault that the cases that have been running across my desk seem to be connected to them.
Fine.
He slides open a drawer and places Demir's necklace on it.
Take it then.
She takes it. Before she heads out, I think she'll stop and say, did you not feel sad when your brother died? When the beast tore him to shreds? Did you not want a piece of him too?
He does not respond.
That's what I thought. And she shuts the door and walks back to her room. I'm not putting that necklace in the grave. That thing is staying with me now.
All right, then you can add
Apparently it's not
Demir's
safe
necklace.
there.
You can add Demir's necklace to your personal quarters.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Excellent. Alrighty then. And then lastly, before we begin the dusk phase, Dr. Murdoch, is there something you'd like to do?
Oh, you're muted, Jordan.
Oh, fuck. Yes, as a matter of fact. So the doctor makes his way back from the cathedral back to Hargrave House. He descends into his secret laboratory with the pieces of Trent kind of being the last pieces that he needs for something extravagant. He sews these pieces together. It's smaller. It's not as grandiose, but it is equally as important, but lacking in sentiment. He moves this table that has his big project. He moves that to the side, and instead he pulls this new amalgamation in front of it under the skylight as a storm begins to roll in. It's awfully stormy in London. There's never a time where it isn't stormy. A perfect cover-up for the sounds that may transpire. He begins this machine which raises this new amalgamation up into the air, and the Sumerian symbols on his body begin to glow as lightning strikes, not once, not twice, but 3 times. As the table begins to lower, the doctor approaches, and this new servant, this reanimated corpse,
You are
gasps,
utilizing your
groans.
new move. It's
Yes.
alive.
It is alive.
Which allows you to make temporary creations. You are making the servant, correct?
Yes, I have gotten 6 pieces. I can assemble a servant. For mechanical purposes, I will explain.
Yes.
So you fashion a side character and imbue them with the essence and idea of a threat. For as long as the threat is active, the servant can bring back an additional clue for each day and night phase. When the threat is resolved or becomes a servant of the mastermind, the servant's purpose leaves them and they become inanimate. Now, I asked Xander a little behind the scenes if it was okay for the servant to exist to investigate the mastermind. And Xander, I know we've had like a little time to think on that, but would you
The
be
mastermind
able
is
to
not a
confirm?
threat currently, so therefore the
Not a threat currently.
the mechanical rule is that it has to investigate an active threat. The mastermind is not
okay.
mechanically an active threat. It
Oh,
will
yeah,
be
'cause
once
we
you
don't-
hit
we don't have the
15.
clues.
Once you hit
We
15,
don't
it
have
becomes
the
an active
clues
threat.
Okay.
So you
How
can
many are we
choose
at now?
13. No, wait, no, 12. So 12. We're at 12.
Oh, damn. Oh, I was so close.
I know.
I was so close. Yes, this servant gasps and gargles and like vomits out this like ectoplasm. My chair just keeps like sinking lower and lower. Oh wait, no, I have to make a roll for this first to see if
Yes,
it works.
you do. You have to see if it works.
I have to see if this works.
So you have to roll a plus your reason. I don't think. Oh, actually, hold on. I can see an argument for how spiteful might give you disadvantage here because
Apple was cleared.
it was clear.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right.
That's right. Never mind. Never
Thank you
mind.
so much.
Ignore me completely.
Thank you so much.
All right, so roll
Oh, shit.
2d6 plus your reason, Dr. Murdoch. First of all.
May I use my jar of ectoplasm?
Since you narrated, yes, you may
Yeah,
use that
so,
to get
like, it's-
advantage. Yeah, mark
he
that.
filled the ectoplasm into the
That's
veins.
very cool.
All right, let's see how this goes. Okay, so that's a 5 and a 4, so that makes a 9 plus. I think my reason is 2, so that makes an 11.
11. All right, so on a hit, you make that type of creature. And do you want to use a mask to lower the cost by 1 or no? We have the Mask of Apathy, still unused as a general mask.
used
Oh
the
no, we
Mask
did
of
use that. Never mind.
Apathy
That's used. Never
before.
mind. It was used last session. That's right. So yeah, do you want to mark a mask of your choosing to, or no?
Nah,
Okay.
no. We'll clear everything out.
You spend the full 6 parts then. So you create the servant, becomes a side character. I'd like you to physically describe and name your creation, your temporary prototype, essentially.
So
It is crude, but it is
how
efficient.
he looks is strange. He has a few different pieces. Like I guess for simplicity's sake, he has taken from 6 people.
Yeah.
He has the head and torso of a tourist who was hailing from New York. He shares one arm of Trent, another of a random person, and then 2 legs that are close enough in height, but enough that it would be a little difficult to walk. But this
see.
corpse kind of gasps and comes to, confused, but looking around, but intelligent enough to make thought of, who am I?
Yep.
Where am I? Who are you?
I think
I don't know where I am.
I actually think we established that your servant can't speak really.
Oh, the servant can't speak? Oh,
No, it's too
I thought he was
crude.
going to be intelligent.
No, he has. I think
that's
it's like a
sad.
base level intelligence. So it's like I believe we established that like part of like the crude application of parts is that it is efficient at finding information, but you've like skimped on other features like its ability to talk and
okay.
No vocal cords.
No vocal
You haven't
cords.
given it vocal cords, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that's absolutely its thoughts, I would imagine. Like, and it's a look that
Okay,
Cal can
I'll
see in
work
its
with that. I
eyes.
like that.
There's like
Yeah.
it's like you can see like that panic, confusion in its eyes. That's what it's thinking. But you can you stand there over your imperfect, flawed creation, but it works.
It works. And the doctor says to him, "Understand, because I will not repeat myself. Your new name is Nico. You're going to be investigating something that has become personal for a very close friend of mine. You see, they've taken something from him, and I would like to figure out what's going on. You're going to investigate something called Sally in a Face. Stick to the shadows. Stay close. And if people see you in public, I will take you apart and put you back together in a way that works. Do you understand?" And the figure looks around, still confused, but nods and kind of like takes a little gesture of lips sealed. It shambles up and it puts on a coat and it limps out.
I'm going to say that since you imbue them with the essence of the threat, I'm going to add a little flavor detail there, which is say, since you're doing Sally No Face, you don this creature in heavy makeup. Thick oil, like, you know, like rouge, and you just fully just like grease paint. You cover up every imperfection in its appearance with heavy makeup and thick fabrics, and you send it on its way to do your bidding. So, yeah, for each day and night phase, it'll get an additional clue. So I'll
Nice. Oh shit.
yeah.
That's good.
Good.
I like
So
this.
I think the way I'll handle that is for each day and night phase, at the end of each phase, for as long as it's been active, for the duration of that phase, I will give you a clue. So you won't get one from the end of this day phase now, but you will get one from the end of this upcoming night phase, and then the day phase after that.
Okay, cool.
Great. Love it. Amazing. I think we should move on to the Dusk phase.
I think that sounds wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Yay!
Alrighty, let's see. Let's see here.
Oh,
So, let us begin, first of all, going in order with playbook moves that need to be resolved, starting with Ross, the quickening once more. What would you like to roll with?
Well, we are going to roll with sensitivity, which initiates my custom move.
Yeah, would you actually share your custom move for the stream as much as you're willing to reveal?
The quickening is not a primeval curse, but is a blessing bestowed from an ancient deity. As the bestowed, it is your purpose to fight against dark entities and snuff them out. You have opened yourself to this blessing in your blood, and with that comes benefits and problems. When you have the cosmic passage marked, and during the quickening roll, if you use sensitivity over composure, take advantage when dealing with threats that are supernaturally malevolent in nature. Take the condition Enemy of the Night. You may not remove this condition.
Oh
If the
shit.
Yep.
Oh shit.
Are you going
Ooh.
to choose to use sensitivity instead?
I will.
All right, you may take the condition Enemy of the Night. Permanent condition. That's very cool. And
And
then
Ross sitting in the perma condition boat. Hi.
Oh, that's horrific. That's so scary. Y'all have the most amount of masks taken.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ross and Pyra are gonna go out together in a spectacular fashion. I'm
Oh,
calling
yeah.
it now.
Oh yeah.
They make it to the very end. They head to that farm and then
You
they just
tell.
explode.
Let's see. You need to make your sensitivity roll then. Let's see. Would spiteful get in the way? Not spiteful. Irritated get in the way of your ability to hold off the curse? I kind of think it would. Like, I mean, if the whole thing is if Mutatio Dei is it's a vengeful beast, that irritation is a gateway of it's a slippery slope because it's like you're already compromised emotionally. You already just want to be fucking done with some things, and so that's like the transformation wants to happen because you just want to let loose how irritated you are. I feel like this will give you disadvantage.
I foresaw this. I saw this thanks to my marking in the Cosmic Passage and my time with the Man in the Mask. So with this, I am going to be utilizing the advantage that I took from my Cruel as the Harlot's Curse.
Yes, you
so
are.
That makes it a straight roll.
Yes, you are, sir. Go ahead and roll 2d6 plus sensitivity. Let's see what happens here.
That is a 7.
A 7. Let's see. You keep it in check, but just barely. You take the condition drained. Unless you wish to mark a mask and avoid this fate, Ross.
I would like to mark a mask, please.
Okay. Which mask would you like to mark?
We are marking a mask of the past.
Okay.
Narrative flashback to the incident that caused you to receive the quickening curse.
Do you want to do that now, or do you wish to hold off for a little bit?
Let's do it now.
Let's do
we
it.
just learned about Mutatio Days. So
Honestly,
let's,
perfect timing for this then. Before you do before you narrate the flashback, I want you to actually just narrate Ross straining to withhold this curse and then segue into the flashback.
We see Ross preparing for the gala tonight, the masquerade. We see him putting on suit pants and suspenders. He has a shirt on. It's a very deep green. He can't decide between a vest or a cummerbund. A vest or a cummerbund. Do people wear cummerbunds more? Does he even need to wear a cummerbund? And he goes, fine, cummerbund. It's a formal event. And you see him trying to put it on, and he's having trouble because he's trying to do it the reverse way. Instead of just moving it around, he's trying to put it on, and you see him just aggravatingly, and then the clasp breaks on it. And you see him just take it and just punch a mirror with the cummerbund. And he looks at his hands, and you can see the skin ripple a little bit. And he looks up, and his eyes are yellow. And he says, no. This is not right now. This is what we've worked towards. This is what you've wanted for me. And I'm doing this the right way. And I don't need you to take over right now. And he looks back up in that fractured mirror, and the eye transfers. These yellow eyes that he has are like alligators, transfer to a moon, a full moon. And you can hear cicadas in the background, droning. It's nighttime. And the camera pulls over the grounds of the Fontenot household. And it slips through the trees. And we see a Julian. Once again, traipsing through the swamps. He has a double-barreled shotgun out, pistol at his side. It seems like he's hunting for something. You can hear people off in the distance calling out, Julian! 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 It's a hunt tonight. But they're hunting a murderer. Someone had recently murdered one of the Fontenot uncles. Julian's father, being very vengeful, decided standard justice wasn't fit. They needed some good old-fashioned justice brought upon this person. Julian's hoping to get to them first, to get them out. Because it was somebody that was blamed for Julian because Julian did it himself. Julian's making his way trying to find this person, traipsing through, irritated like he is in the present. When he catches sight of somebody, running after them, traipsing through, slipping by, gets on some dry land finally, is running across and thinks he sees the person that he's looking for, but they seem odd. They seem different. They seem like they are wearing drapes or curtains of some kind. And then they step behind a tree, and we see Julian running, and he doesn't notice that he's about to step right on a log, but it's not a log. And we see him step on one log, hopping across, trying to catch this other person, step on another log, and then the third log, realizing what's happening, snatches Julian in the waist, drags him down. You can see him flailing for a bit, and you see it turn over. And Julian's screaming and screaming. And then he goes beneath the surface. He feels himself falling. Bubbles turn to clouds. And he's raised up in a field of reeds. And before him is a man with bronze skin, holding what seems to be a ankh in one hand and a cane in another, with an alligator mask made of pure jade and gold. And he says, not what I was expecting, but you'll do for now. You and I have business to see too, Julian. You may call me Sobek.
The music ended at the perfect time right there.
Dude.
Oh my god.
Whoa!
I didn't even think about Sobek as your god. Dang.
Oh my god, that's
great.
awesome.
That's awesome.
The fuck?
Okay, cool. Yeah, you earned that mask. Okay, yeah, absolutely. So following after that, absolutely. So you don't take drained. You are just efficient and ready. Dr. Murdoch,
perfect.
do you wish to use either Night Work or the Resurrectionist this evening?
I think I would like to use the Resurrectionists because I have a ball to go to.
Yeah, which
things to
two?
do.
I'll let you think about what two features you want to use. I'm going to jump over to let's see. I don't think Carla has any because Unquenchable Thirst does not kick in. Pyra, let's do that Cosmic Passage. Go ahead and roll with your presence as the beast.
My
your
favorite.
best skill.
Yeah, I'm bloodthirsty.
What'd you roll?
I rolled a 9, but I have
Yep.
a -1
So
to
it's an
that.
8.
So it's an 8,
So
and I'm
it's-
bloodthirsty.
You're now bloodthirsty again. And you get advantage on your next roll, and then you can describe how an aspect of the beast
Oh
helps
yeah,
you.
I'm
Cool.
going to kill a fig tonight, so this might be helpful.
Absolutely incredible. Okay, cool. So, let's see. All right, there's that. And Cal, which two Resurrectionist features are you going to be picking tonight?
I think we are gonna get a body part for the child, and we are going to face no blowback this time.
Body part for an official body part for the child or a spare part?
Oh no, we're getting an official body part this
Oh
time.
yeah, it's been a while since
We're
we've gotten
getting-
one of those.
It's been a bit. He was taking a little bit of a break. He had to make sure that things could work.
He was working through some
before.
stuff, yeah.
He was working
Um,
through it.
Absolutely. Okay, great. You'll pick those two. And I think that's it. All right, let's do a paint the scene question about Hargrave House. I think it's very fitting. I'm gonna do the salon of Hargrave House. What do you see in this room that makes it the most comfortable spot in the entire house?
Want to abridge this a little bit.
Hmm.
It's less that what I see in this room and what the fact that this is the room that is physically the furthest from Papple's office in the entire house.
That's a good one. I like that.
I'd say that this is the only room in just about this entire house past our living quarters that doesn't have any spooky bullshit in it. To the point where, like, sometimes the whispers that tickle at the back of your head when, like, in the main hall, like, they leave once you enter this room. It's quiet, silent, normal.
There's real goose feather pillows on all of the couches. They're really, really soft and comfortable. And it helps relieve a little bit of tension. They all are also sprinkled with a little bit of perfume. Some smell like lavender, others like roses. It's very comforting. Feels like home.
The walls in here are not the standard spackled brick with wallpaper placed over. It seems like this is a room that whoever built Hargrave House wanted it to feel cool and warm at the same time. So it is the bare brick that has just been lightly smoothed over. With some very porous breathing spackling, and it's been painted a very pleasant light blue to suggest the day, a perfect day.
Oh, amazing. Fantastic. I love it all. Alrighty, let's go around here. What will each hunter be doing this evening in brief, starting with Ross?
Ross is going to be going to the masquerade.
Alrighty.
He's going to be playing the dutiful Hargrave Hunter, and is hopefully going to be coming into contact with maybe somebody from the Society Obscura there.
Interesting. Okay. Interesting.
Kind of like a marriage of the two things.
That's a very interesting idea. All right. What is Carla planning to do this evening?
Of course I'm going to the masquerade, darling.
Absolutely.
And I intend to talk to Miss Brathwaite myself.
And which one?
The elder, of course.
Ah, of course. Alrighty. What does Dr. Murdoch plan to do this evening?
They kidnapped him, so they must really, really want to talk to him. He's gonna go to the masquerade ball.
Okay.
As well.
And lastly, what does Pyra want to do this evening?
He'll murder a pig.
Murder a Figg. Sounds good.
He'll murder a pig.
Pyra is not a partier.
They
Fantastic.
kicked me out as soon as I got drunk.
Fantastic.
I started fist fighting all the nobles.
Very well. I love that. All right. Does anyone want to revise their plan, their statement, or are we all pretty good to go? It sounds like we're good to go.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I feel like, okay, let me introduce the unseen. I'm actually gonna change.
I fucking love the unseen.
Let's see. I know we love the unseen. We stand
The unseen's
the unseen.
awesome. I love the unseen.
I feel like I have to do this one. We're gonna once more have a night at the Grand Guignol. This evening's performance is the Laboratory of Hallucinations. Every class of people in London is represented in the audience at the Theatre Grand Guignol. They have come to watch a production of The Laboratory of Hallucinations, a story of revenge. Let me just check. Alrighty, and now we formally move into the night phase. I think I'm gonna mix things up a little bit. I'm gonna have whoever's reading this read the prompt and then answer it. So I'm gonna give this first paint the scene prompt. Well, actually, I think thus far we've done the paint the scene prompts as everybody answered. I think that and I want to keep that. So I'll read this first one aloud and then we'll carry on. So paint the scene question for this one: as the limelights pop to life and the crimson curtain is raised, what do we see as we scan the stage that tells us this is the story of a mad scientist? Go ahead.
So the set is split into 3 ways that that actually rotates as the show kind of moves along. In between each of these set pieces, they had actually broken glass and like fragmented it together to kind of give this idea that like you're kind of in his headscape more, and that it's very fractured.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
Each set is color coded. There's one is blue, one is red, and one is almost entirely in grays and blacks. Each one representing his deep sorrow, his great boiling anger, and then the deep, darkest recesses of his mind.
I love it.
There is an unhealthy amount of organization to this lab. It's like it's like that scene from Suicide Squad with the Joker surrounded by his knives. It's just very meticulously placed, just showing the madness that's in this mind, his attempt to keep it in control.
I love that. Fantastic. All right, let's go around here. I would like to hear.
Got
one more.
Oh, yeah,
Got
one more. Yes, my apologies. Yes.
There is on the wall of each of these sets, how it rotates and everything, but there is on the wall a portrait of a woman wearing blue. Looks very elegant, but on each set, it looks more and more torn into, a little bit more ripped, things splattered upon it.
Oh, very good. Someone's already just getting that echo in the night. Like, I love it. I love it.
Setting it up for somebody.
Absolutely. Okay. Right on. I'd like to start by asking of Ross. How do you prepare for the masquerade ball, and what is the mask of Ross's choice?
Ross is fully doing away with the cummerbund and the fancy clothes idea, just has decided to go full leaning into the masquerade, the costume of it all. So he has stolen from a trunk somewhere else in Hargrave House the clothes of a one-time explorer, of somebody that went deep into the heart of the cradle of civilization and never came back. And he is wearing the khaki pants with the you know how they puff out at the side on the thigh. And he's wearing tall knee boots that are brown. He is wearing the deep green shirt with the tie open, or the buttons opened up, and is wearing an ascot of bright orange, is wearing a khaki jacket over that is has, it seems a little bit more, it's definitely meant for hunting and for sport, but it seems a little bit fancier than that. And in the style of the great Western orator and musical storyteller Orville Peck, is wearing a gator skin domino mask, but instead of like beads or any kind of like tassels hanging down from it, it's small gold chains, and affixed to each chain are teeth. Seems like they seem to be like gator teeth.
That's very cool.
And is wearing a hat, but it's not like a pith helmet or anything like that. It is in the Australian style, where one side is pinned up, and there is that there's a little the other alligator foot that is pinned up to it, and there's a headband, and there are bullets in the rim of the headband that seem fashionable but could probably be functional if need be.
That's fantastic. I love that. Carla Holst, how are you preparing for this evening at Brathwaite Hall?
She's thought about a lot of different outfits, things that she could wear tonight. She thought about going very ostentatious. She thought about going very extravagant or very, in the words of Victorian London, exotic. But in the end, she's dressed perhaps not too dissimilar from the ladies of London, at least in this current time. Long taffeta dress in red, always in red, with a fur stole, long cape going off the back of her shoulders. But it's a little scandalous, because it's Carla, so it's always a little scandalous.
Naturally.
And you can see there is a little bit of a slit in the dress, showing off a beautiful pair of stockings. Not that anyone else would know this, but Carla is very proud of these stockings. They belong to a queen. A queen not too far off from our dear London, in fact in Paris.
Oh.
It's a darn shame that she lost her head over it. And you see on the statue of Carla a thin line crossing her neck, because Carla is going to be wearing Marie Antoinette's stockings.
Oh, you're
from her
using
collection.
the collection. Oh, that's
awesome.
very cool. That is insanely
Her
cool.
shoes are beautiful, beautiful velvet and suede. Her hair is tied up for once in a beautiful, beautiful bun, and she has a full veil over her face as if she was a widow, and a mask made of pure, deep wrought iron.
That's
Woof.
fucking cool.
Amazing.
Carla, you sure you don't want to stay here?
I'm good, I think.
Dr. Murdoch, how are you preparing for the Brathwaite Hall evening?
So the doctor, in his laboratory, after sending away Nico to do the tasks, has begun getting ready. He tries on an assortment of things, presenting them to the body that lays in his room, until he comes out in this suit that is a mix of silvers and grays, almost wolf-like colors, but with the mask that he wears, it is actually the mask of a fox, for he is going to be approaching tonight as the one that they could not catch.
That's amazing. I'm also so fucking proud of Wes, Meg, and Jordan right now for absolutely following the prompt of the stage design to have the colored, the orange, the red, and the gray between the three. You're all great. What the hell? I'm just love you guys. Great. That's fantastic. The fox mask is so cool. I'm living my best life right now. All right. And then I think lastly, on a very different note, Pyra, how are you preparing and getting ready to hunt down La Hortencia Figg?
She's not doing it in her room. She's doing it in Demir's room. She has laid out all of her weapons very meticulously. And she's putting on her brother's necklace and tucking it under her collar so that her uncle won't see. And she's just muttering in that same really thick language, more or less saying, I'm going to make them pay. They're not going to disrespect you like that and get away with it. They're going to make this right, and she's going to die.
Amazing. And if I recall correctly, feel free to correct me on this because it's been a couple of weeks. When we rolled for the La Hortensia question, did we get the there's an unwelcome complication there, which I believe it was.
Yes.
If I recall correctly, it was that she wants to make you her daughter.
She wants to make me her daughter.
I believe that was it,
Like
right?
that
It
was the because that was the thing because we figured out like the whole thing and why Pyra was chosen is because Obert Figg wanted to test her and La Hortencia Figg wanted to make her miscarried daughter.
So that is what we said then. The unwelcome complication was that she is trying to make you her daughter and like a brainwashed surrogate child. I love that. Okay, cool, excellent. Well then, if that's how you're preparing, let's jump back to the Grand Guignol. I'm going to give this first prompt to Carla. Go ahead and read that first prompt and then give us an answer to it.
Describe Act 1, in which a mad scientist discovers his wife is having an affair with another man. The scene turns to the blue ensemble, and you see standing there in this laboratory, although it's not so much a laboratory in this exact moment, you can see that a couple of the props have been replaced or have been altered in other parts of the set to almost make it seem like it's a living room. Some of the tools have been replaced with plants. Some of the books have been replaced with pictures. And there is a man and a woman who are sitting on one of the tables, more like a couch, in the mind, theater of the mind. And the two of them are embracing and they are speaking passionate words to each other just for this mad scientist, a man by the name of Johannes, burst into the scene. And there is shouting, there is loud shouting. How could you do this? In my own house, in our own living room. The children are asleep next door. How could you? And it is loud and it is violent. And as the scene progresses, you see the scientist go from anger to just deep wallowing despair, asking himself what he could have done, what else could have been done. Maybe he should have loved his wife more. Maybe he should have turned away from all that he does in his laboratory. And then he steels himself and says, no, it is not I who have done this wrong, but the people around me.
Fantastic. And before we get to the party, we're going to start with Pyra, I think, who has tracked down La Hortencia Figg, which I have to remind myself actually that it's technically, since she's Spanish, it would be La Hortencia Figg. Hortencia. Oh, you're muted, Shelby.
I just cracked such a good fucking one-liner too.
Oh,
God
say it
damn
again. Say it again. Let's hear it.
You were like, oh, it's supposed to be like La Hortencia Figg. I'm like, yeah, she's about to be on La Hortencia dead, so who cares?
Anyway, you find where she's been hiding. I feel like it's in an abandoned building of some sort. I think it's very fitting for it to be an abandoned orphanage. It feels extremely fitting.
Creepy.
Yes.
Fucking creepy bitch. Okay.
And as you enter the building, what do you do?
Well, normally Pyra's fucking method is just to go in fucking guns blazing, but I think she knows that La Hortencia likes to set traps because of that one night I had. So I think she would first check and see tripwires, weird machines that are going to dump sharp shit on me. And she would take this a lot quieter. And I think this is how I would allow the beast's aspect to give me aid in this moment.
Yeah, you want to so you would like to try to bypass and quietly and avoid La Hortensia's traps. This is absolutely a night move.
Yeah, I want to meld into the shadows. Obviously the thing I'm afraid of is being caught. So
yeah, I think that this is going to be plus your composure, since you are trying to keep steady, in concentrating and a calm disposition to move decisively through the shadows. So yeah, this is gonna be plus your composure. You have advantage on this, so describe what aspect, how the aspect of the beast is enhancing your movement, your assuredness, this composure of yours.
The beast is silent. It stalks, and it's upon you in seconds. You don't know it's coming, it's just there. So as Pyra is stepping into these old creaking building, she doesn't make a single sound, is what I'm aiming for, is that my footsteps are silenced. My breath is unable to be heard. My shadow cannot be seen as I am sticking to the darkness. I will roll my d6s.
Yep. And I actually, hold on, before you roll, I think Bloodthirsty would maybe impact this roll, so that would be mitigated by the advantage. So this would be a flat 2d6 plus your composure. And before you roll, what are you afraid of happening here?
Being caught.
It's worse than that, because... How is it worse than that? It's worse than that, because I'll say that earlier today, Titus Figg escaped and rejoined his wife. So you'll have to deal with 2 figs at once. Do you wish to continue with this plan?
Fuck yeah, I do.
Roll 2d6 plus 1.
A part
9.
of kind of. Oh,
9. You do what you intend, but there is a complication or a cost. Let me look at your sheet for a moment.
a part of me kind of wants Titus to.
Kind of too.
Anyway,
Me too, kind of.
Reminder for our audience: we still have that one mask for Figg's Pigs, and it
Mask
has
of
to
the
be
Pig.
used tonight.
It has to be used tonight before it's over with. And if you do you want to use that now to bump that up to a 10, or do you want to hold off on it for?
I'm gonna let a d6 decide this for me because both sound interesting.
Okay.
I'm just
Well,
gonna
Titus
do
is well. You rolled a 7 9, so Titus is not going to show up because that was a failure state thing. So this is just a complication.
damn.
Well, I'm gonna say if I roll an even number, yes, and an odd number, no.
Okay.
Well, that's a 5, so no.
Okay. You might have another chance to use that. You're the only person who
Maybe.
can use the mask, so because you're the only person
Yeah.
actively working to fix
Yeah,
pigs.
and I'm pretty sure have a couple more rolls I gotta make. So let's hold on to the mask until maybe I roll two
Okay.
ones, like, you know.
You move decisively and with great purpose, and we'll see what happens shortly. But for
Yay.
now, let us move on to another matter entirely.
Okay.
I think beforehand, there is the carriage ride. You've left London, the three of you. I assume you're all together?
Yes.
You've left
yeah,
London
I
into
like
the
that.
surrounding countryside when you inevitably arrive outside the grand estate grounds, the massive, sprawling, green, well-tended lawn, passing by rows of flowers, many blue flowers on display here, rolling up the way to the facade of the gargantuan Brathwaite Hall. Other carriages are out and parked along the rotunda, and as you all step out, what do you do?
I wait for an attendant to help me out to the carriage,
Mm-hmm.
or one of the gentlemen with me.
Mm-hmm.
Ross is gonna step out and issue a handout. But just issuing a handout and is like looking across everything, the grounds, looking at the tree line, looking at how much security there might be, things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
Just holding a handout.
Absolutely.
Barla takes Ross's hand, steps out of the carriage.
The
Deep
doc is
breath.
looking for. Sorry. Continue.
No, you're fine. Go
Okay.
ahead.
The doc is currently. He steps out of the carriage and he's looking for Tati Brathwaite.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of keeping an eye out for her or for Theodora.
Mm-hmm.
Just either or, mainly Tati Brathwaite.
Yeah. Very well. Well, you all step outside, and there's the walk up to the gargantuan manor. There are other guests, of course, and some exiting carriages, some loitering in the front lawn off to the side of the house. You can hear music, laughter, chuckling from within, and perhaps Carla, to your finely tuned ears to this sort of social gathering, perhaps even deeper in something more salacious going on in certain rooms of the house.
Apparently, its reputation precedes itself.
But I assume you all will enter Brathwaite Hall.
Oh yes.
This is a gargantuan structure. It is probably one of the wealthiest buildings you've ever been in your life. It's almost palatial, and it's like a mercantile wonderland. Just signs of vast global wealth being pooled. Of let's see, I'm thinking of some decals. Like there's this massive, very much in the vein of like what's the movie with the character Scarlet? Frankly, Scarlet, I don't give a damn.
Brett Butler.
No, but like, what's the movie?
It's Gone with the Wind.
Thank you. This is like her mansion. This is like her mansion that has that massive staircase, except there is a luxurious sapphire blue silk carpet that rolls down the center of the stair. There are open doorways that lead to a ballroom. There are dress attendants wearing blue sapphire masks who are walking around with bottles of cognac and champagne, all serving. Actually, I'm going to change the music here. Welcome to Brathwaite Hall. And stepping up as you can look around, the main ballroom is sort of like the center of activity, I'd say. But there are side rooms, other people conversing, but you're on the lookout for the Brathwaites. You're looking on the lookout for people and interesting things nearby. I have to ask this first. How does Carla... where in this party is Carla drifting to first?
She's going to the dance floor first. Just kind of navigating around people. And for both Ross and our dear Dr. Murdoch, it's a transformation. You've seen her among nobility before, but it is instant. It is natural, and you see her just almost melt into the crowd. She's not the spotlight, which she's a little weird for someone as Carla, but she's not the spotlight in this moment. She is just invisible amongst this sea of humanity. And she goes to the dance floor and she finds a fine young lady and begins to dance.
And where do Ross and Cal drift to in this party as well?
Cal is going to, not
Ross.
Cal.
Yeah, sure
Ross is going to clap Cal on the back and then like put one hand on one shoulder and a hand on another one and leaning close to Mr. Murdoch's ear, and it's going to go, "All right, bucko, make sure that if you try to kill somebody tonight, you make it clean and make sure no noises are made."
I'm not going to kill anyone. What do you take me for? I can't say that anymore, can I?
Yeah, just make sure it's a clean one. And you can tell that like Ross is on edge and looks around and he goes, "I'm gonna go see some Abernathy's about a camera." And gonna squeeze the shoulders of Dr. Murdoch, and I'm gonna be looking for the Abernathy's.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna hope that they're here, because if there's somebody, and they seem like there's somebody, they should be here.
And where does Cal drift to in the party? We have Carla going to her dance floor, Ross stalking along the sides, keeping an eye out for the right guests. And what does Cal do inside the building?
Is Theodore Brathwaite around, or
You see,
does she give a code of some kind, whether it be the blue? Where's the
You-
blueberry? Like that's
you see her butler standing about off to the side of like the main entry hall, keeping an eye on things. This is the manservant who was with her in the woods, so if ever there was someone to know where the Lady Brathwaite was, well, certainly it would be her butler.
Cal will approach, and he's going to.
You see this again once more: shriveled skin, wisps of gray hair that hang from his balding pate, a very finely pressed butler's uniform.
He goes, Dr. Murdoch, I'm glad to see you and your friends attend. How may I be of service to you, sir?
Do you know where Lady Brathwaite is? I was hoping to acquire a conversation.
I do indeed know where Lady Brathwaite is, Mrs. Well, I should say Mrs. because she's not gentry. Where Mrs. Brathwaite is, Dr. Murdoch.
May I know where she is?
Dr. Murdoch, Mrs. Brathwaite has trusted me to keep her secrets. What kind of servant would I be if she couldn't speak candidly in front of me? Now then, if there's nothing else you need from me, I'm sure she'll find you when she is good and ready.
So she will. Thank you very kindly.
You are most welcome.
And you can't see, but in the mask, like, his fucking eyebrows are just, like, seething.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes and he joins the dances.
Yeah,
With Carla.
absolutely. It is a flurry. Oh, yes, Carla.
I'm going to make an interesting request.
I'm listening.
Carla wants to try and become Theodora's dance partner as they're switching.
Oh,
Dance
damn, that's what I was trying
partners.
to do.
No. Hey,
Oh, shit.
takes you can dance as a trio. That'd be an interesting a group dance. I like this idea of Carla and Cal moving almost like clockwork in a motion
Yeah.
of like
I like that.
waiting, like sharks circling in the water.
I think maybe not necessarily a trio, but them agreeing that they'll trade off at one point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
maybe
it's like-
even for a moment they come together and it's like, have you found her yet?
Oh, goodness, no.
No, she's.
And you
like
break
a
once more.
thief of the night.
It is a flurry of activity, and in some brief glimpses, you even see you see a few familiar faces, including familiar masks, including the man in the sun mask is in attendance, dancing across the room.
I haven't talked to you yet.
And let's see who else is here. You know who else is here? Constance Head.
Of course she is.
Of course she is.
She is.
No.
She is off to the side, just
Oh,
guffawing and like leaning to like whispering things and just being like, "Oh yes." It's like I've been so excited to be invited by Mrs. Brathwaite. I'm looking forward to meeting her this evening. And we pull away from that as Ross, you kind of stalk along the fringes of the party. You see the Abernathy's currently apart. One is off engaging socially as she is wont to do, but Cyrus is off to the side wearing, it's a masquerade, so I will narrate, he is wearing a moon mask.
I like that.
And he is sitting off to the side, smoking, I'll say. He has like a little smoking pipe that he is currently breathing in luxurious silver smoke from and watching the party with lazy, interested eyes.
Ross is going to grab a rocks glass. There's like an attendant just walking by. He's going to grab a rocks glass filled with some liquid or another and is going to stalk right over to Mr. Abernathy. And quick second thinking, do I sit in front of him or beside him? Sits from the chair across from him and just sits and leans heavily into the chair, legs splayed out in a very comfortable position, and just holds the glass up and goes, "Well, it seems like our presence has been blessed by Khonshu himself. Doing much traveling tonight, sir?"
Oh, getting about.
I'm glad to see you here, Mr. I blank on your name. I apologize, but you are with Hargrave House. Yes. You know an associate of mine.
Indeed. Close friends, one might say.
So I've heard. What was all that ruse about being a bodyguard to that to Miss Holst?
Madam Holst, indeed.
Yes, Madam, indeed.
Well, in the nature of our work, we move through avenues and alleyways that others dare not tread into.
Indeed.
And we must take precautions, just in case things seem to make a mess of themselves.
I already informed Madam Host that if she is going to proceed, she must proceed with great caution. After all, while I am certainly at ease with you and your organization for our mutual friend, the other members of the society might not be as relaxed to those who come prying after the matter of Penelope.
Maybe we not talk about Penelope this evening.
No.
And I want your society and its members to feel relaxed with me. I've been told on several occasions that I am quite close to a relaxing, cool, yet warm glass of whiskey. I have a Canadian rye about myself, one might even say.
Let me ask you, I'm going to ask now all three hunters in this scene presently. Ross, what are you looking to achieve here, action-wise? Do you wish to do some kind of move here?
I am James Bonding my way into, I am hopefully trying to get within liaisons with one or more Abernathy's so that I can learn a clue about society.
An information
obscura.
move, okay.
I want an information
You
move.
can roll an information move plus your presence, so roll that and then let us know what the number is.
Perfect.
While he's rolling that, Carla and Cal, you're both kind of doing similar the same thing, but is there a more mechanical attachment we can give to that?
I suppose in Carla's case, it is closer to perhaps in the little bit more transient nature of the ball, something more akin to a day or a night move.
Yeah.
She's not necessarily looking to get information out of Theodora. She just wants to interact with Theodora.
And I believe Cal's inverse of that is he wants to see Tati, or is he also here for Theodora?
He's wanting to get information out of either of them. Either one works, but like he wants to go for like just straight up information.
So here's what I'm going to say for you then. You two are both going to be day moves in separate ways. I say day moves because this is a brightly lit ball. Carla, your day move is with presence. You are dancing. You are making a splendor of yourself to weasel your way in. Meanwhile, Cal, you are cold logic. You want to... correct me if I'm wrong here. It sounds like you are watching the bodies moving in the room, trying to discern the patterns to them so you can be exactly where you need to be by moving with the crowd and staying... in the right place at the right time. Does that sound about right?
I would even argue it's like he's kind of doing it like arithmetic. Like he's looking at it very mathematically, like a pattern.
I like this.
And then he joins that.
I like this cut between Carla in her head counting the dance of the waltz, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have Cal over here counting not the steps of the waltz, but the movements of bodies in a circular motion. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2.
If it's a waltz, it's 3.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 1. That's right. So you're counting 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, counting
and
through.
I think I'm absolutely leveraging my presence. I'll take that advantage.
You get the advantage from Unquenchable Thirst. That's right. And you may use your reason, Dr. Murdoch.
I love reason.
I got
thing to do.
that for me is an 11. I think, however, I'm going to put on a mask and bump that to 12 just to see what extra benefit I might get from this. I'm curious.
What mask do you mark?
Mask of the Past.
All right. We will not narrate that at this present moment. We'll save that for next session because we're almost at time. So great, you roll that. Yeah, that brings you to a 12 on your day move. Well, I meant to ask you what you were afraid of. I always ask what you were afraid of happening, but it's moot. But
I think in that moment, Carla was afraid of. She was afraid of someone. Oh, here's a fun one. Unfortunately, I didn't say it, but she was afraid that someone would recognize her as a cult member, and they would not be in such propriety in such a situation.
Okay. And what was Dr. Murdoch afraid of happening should he not calculate and read the room properly?
He's afraid of misstepping. He's not a man of dance, so he's gonna try to join this awkward, clumsy mess. He's gonna get thrown off his groove. He's gonna get thrown off the rhythm, the arithmetic.
Okay. Then roll. What'd you roll?
I rolled so that's 4 3, so that's a 7 plus a 2, so that's a 9.
Okay, I will narrate that outcome. Unless you want to invoke a mask as well. And before, I know that we've never done this, we're in the middle of the night phase, but I feel like we will end in the middle of this, and I feel like I know a great place to end this is I'm going to actually cut back over to Pyra. I'm going to break the format a little bit to narrate what happens with her first, and then I'll narrate what happens at the party, and then we'll close out. So meanwhile, with the Figg's house, you got that as a complication. So you stalk carefully, sure-footedly, moving, sidestepping wires and covered collapses in the floor, cans strung about as an alarm system, perhaps, who knows. But you move through the shadows of this old orphanage. As you move, you hear a soft, motherly humming, some sort of lullaby. And you know your quarry is in that direction. And as you follow it, the room begins to take on the appearance of some sort of mock nursery, but in the way that where you might see like curtains and soft cloths instead draped about, you see finely carved sheets of thick human skin stretched out on hooks like grisly wall decorations, making this sort of flesh nursery.
Real Eddie Gluskin vibes here.
Very, very Eddie Gluskin vibes. And there is, I'll even add an Ed Gein kind of thing here. Texas Chainsaw
like some like fucked up human taxidermy.
There is a little, what is it called? Like the little, is it a cradle? It's a cradle made out of bones.
A bassinet.
It's a bassinet it's a rocking bassinet made out of bones, tibias, femurs, ribs. That feels extremely appropriate.
Yeah, fuck, this is just Ed Gein's arts and crafts. I'm saying it. Jesus Christ.
Exactly. And
don't feel bad about killing this bitch now.
No, you shouldn't. She's humming a soft lullaby to something that's in the bassinet. And here's going to be your complication. I'm trying to think of what this is actually.
Was there an actual baby in the bassinet?
Oh, you just gave me an idea. It's alive. It's a living baby. Okay, you know what? I'm going to add the danger of that situation. I like that idea, actually. La Hortencia has kidnapped an actual infant child.
Oh God!
And you
that
realize
means if
now,
I do this, Pyra has to learn how to handle a baby to get it back home. That's going to be the real challenge.
And you realize, with a bit of like that, the bloodthirst is strong in you. The baby is alive. It's in the bassinet, and she's singing to it. However, she is poised there with. Remember, she has one arm missing. So like she's kind of like has her shoulder propped up against the bassinet and is undulating her shoulder in a kind of unpleasant way to rock the cradle. and the other hand, you see it softly caressing the top of the baby's head. The baby's asleep, but you see that she's created this intricate trap that is attached to the cradle. That is essentially, you realize she has rigged this entire room to erupt into flames. And you realize with an even greater horror on top of this, the human skin tapestries that hang like decorations of a nursery, they are positioned in a way that abstractly they form the shape of a pie crust encircling this chamber.
That's fucked up.
And she stops her humming, and La Hortencia looks over her shoulder as she hears you enter. She smells of blood and sweetness. And she says, "Motherhood is a difficult thing. I'm so very happy you decided to join me. I've been waiting to meet you in person. The most difficult part of preparing the meat is the rib cage." She strokes the bones of the bassinet. "Even if I had two hands, cracking open the ribs would be a devil. I usually have to ask Obert or Patrick for help. But that's what's lovely about running a family business, isn't it? Everyone pitches in. Now, why don't you go ahead and drop your silly knives and join Mother at her bosom and meet your new baby brother." And we're going to pull away from that scene for now. We're going to cut away from
I
that.
have an idea.
I'll let you ruminate on that for a week. So yeah, the complication is you are in danger of that trap going off.
There's
And
now a baby in
there's
danger.
now a baby
cool.
and there's a trap.
The worst person to ever be in charge of a baby is now in charge of a baby.
And before we end formally, we will narrate the outcomes of these individual roles next week. But before then, as we set the scene, I'll end on a nice little cliffhanger. You are all moving, you're preparing, doing your own things, and you hear a soft but commanding little cough from Elmore the butler. "Presenting Mrs. Theodora Brathwaite." People break the dance to give a scattered applause, and people like croon and smile. And standing up onto a grand balcony on top of a large set of stairs in the most luxurious blue silk gown you've ever seen her in, a blue half mask pointed at the eyelids as she saunters down the steps, waving and smiling, blue opera gloves, and what's strapped to her side is a decorative glimmering scimitar. And at her neck, catched in the candlelight of the many chandeliers, is the one and only lady of the house, Theodora Brathwaite. And she says, "Welcome one, welcome all. I'm so very happy to see you in attendance this evening. It will sure to be a night to remember." And that is where we will end this evening's chapter of The Between. We will resume this extended night phase with Theodora next week. Same time, same place. Until then, sleep well and rest easy, for the night is dark and full of terrors. Good evening.
Screwed.